Interesting. Go to 56 and verse 10. His watchmen are blind. They're all ignorant. They're all dumb dogs. They cannot bark, sleeping, lying down, loving to slumber. Can you see that? So he had watchmen, but they were blind, ignorant, dumb dogs. They cannot bark, sleeping, lying down, loving to slumber. They love sleep. You can't take their sleep away from them. Because you see, life is spiritual, and that's why we have to work with spiritual understanding. It's one of the things that Paul prayed for young Christians. Go to Colossians chapter 1. I want to read to you from verse 9. Colossians chapter 1. For this cause we also, since the day we heard it, do not cease to pray for you, and a desire that he might be filled with the knowledge of his will in all wisdom and spiritual understanding. See, he wants you to be filled with the knowledge of God's will in all wisdom and spiritual understanding. There's mental understanding. Cultural understanding. See, it depends on the way you were raised. You may just look at life from your professional understanding. See? Some people, that's the only way they can reason. They just reason through their professional training. They can't reason any other way. Some can only reason as politicians. They reason according to their career or the area of interest. But that's not so with God. Spiritual understanding is superior to all other kinds of natural understanding. And this, he lets us know, is important for the child of God. Because life is spiritual. You are a spirit. You are not a body. You're a spirit being. You live in your physical body. Your intellectual constituents are in your soul. And your soul is a tool given to your spirit to function with. So there you have your emotions, your will. In other words, the decisions of your spirit are orchestrated there. Your mind, with which you reason, where your thoughts are processed, they're in your soul, in the seat of your soul. So all of that is part of your human spirit, the hidden man of the heart. That's the way this described in the Bible. He's hidden inside the physical body. The outward man is the body and his senses. The senses with which you relate with the world, with your environment. But you're primarily a spirit being with spiritual capacities And God wants you to train spiritually. Many have given their whole life to earthly training. They've trained their mental powers. Some have trained their physical bodies. I mean, you know, there are people who they can't make a simple arithmetic sum. They can't. But they're good with anything physical. They've trained their physical bodies. Maybe in some sports, something. When it comes to using their bodies, they're tough. They're amazing. But intellectually, they're not okay. Then some are very, very sound intellectually. But physically, not a lot. I mean, you can't get them to run. They're weak physically. But spiritually, even though you have you are erudite intellectually, strong physically, if spiritually you have no knowledge of the truth, no spiritual understanding, you are sunk. You got a huge problem. It's like you haven't lived. Because that's the most important part of life. In fact, that's where the real life is. That's what Jesus said, you must be born again. He says, verily, verily, I say unto you, you must be born again. That's the recreation of the human spirit. And when your spirit is recreated, you are awakened to the fatherhood of God. You come alive to God. From then on, you walk with God, in contact with the Spirit of God. And better to start learning from there so you grow spiritually. Life is spiritual. Yesterday,